Hello, learners, and welcome back to our pronoun series part 3. And in the last two videos, we discussed different types of pronouns like personal pronoun, reflexive pronoun, demonstrative pronoun, right? We have discussed only few parts of pronoun. But today in this video, we will complete the subtypes of pronoun so that you can start with your next topic now. Today, we are going to learn two more types of pronoun, not two, but three more types of pronoun. Indefinite pronoun, and two, I'll reveal after this slide. Okay? I'll explain the rules in simple terms and multiple examples. And by the end of this video, you'll be able to answer any grammar questions of these pronouns. So let's get started. Okay? So this is the next subtype of our pronoun video, that is indefinite pronoun. When I say indefinite pronoun, when a pronoun refers to a person or a thing in a very general way, okay, then, but not in any specific person or thing, it is called indefinite pronoun. So we have a definition here. Let's go through it once. So when a person or when a pronoun refers to a person or a thing in a general way, but not to any person or thing in particular, it is called indefinite pronoun. The examples of indefinite pronouns are, I'll give you one, okay, anyone, or everyone, right? Or nobody. Okay, this is indefinite. We do not know how many number of people are there, right? For example, none, or either, right? Or neither. We have many examples for this. Each, all, few, many, right? So they all are the examples of our indefinite pronoun. Let's see the rules how we have to make sure that indefinite pronoun is used properly. Okay. One, if used in a sentence, always repeats itself. Okay. So one is used as a subject. One, we must use one through the sentence if it is used once in a subject, not he or she or they. Do not replace it with them. Okay. For example, if I say one must do one's duty honestly. Okay, one must do one's duty honestly. So it is once repeated itself, not his duty, right? We make that mistake sometimes. Okay. If I say one should respect one's elders, right? So I have used repeated one again and not used any other pronoun here. Okay, so this is the rule. If one is already written in a sentence, try using it again. Do not use he, she, they, it. Okay, so it will be wrong if you'll use any other pronoun in place of one. So let's see the next one. We have when we are talking specifically about females, only masculine gender is used. In general usage also, if gender is not mentioned clearly, okay? If gender is not mentioned clearly, we use he, him, or his instead of she or her. Okay? If a student, for example, if I give you an example, if a student work works hard, right? Student, we do not know the gender. What will I write? He will succeed, right? See how I have used he as a pronoun here, right? Similarly, if I want to give you another example, anyone can join the class. Okay, so anyone can join the class, okay, if he wants to, right? If he wants. So I have used a masculine gender here because I did not know that they're talking specifically about a female. But here we have a general noun, nothing mentioned about their gender. Okay, let's see the next one. We have either is replaced by anyone when we are talking about more than two persons or things. Same is the case with none or neither. So either or neither should only be used when we are referring to two people. Okay? When we are referring to two people or two things. For more than two, use anyone or none. This we did earlier also, right? If there are only two people, use either or neither. If there are more than two people, always use anyone or none. Okay, let's discuss an example or two for this. For example, okay, I'll give you none of the four players qualified, right? None of the four players qualified. Also, you can take either of the two books. Okay, I have used two books. You can take either of the two books. You can take any one of the five books. Okay, any one of the five books because the number is increased. Okay, now let us see the next thing. Each other should be used in speaking of two persons or things, one another in speaking of more than two. So each other, where is each other? Yes. So each other is used for two people or thing. Okay? Two people or thing. But one another can be used for more than two. Okay? Do not confuse yourself. For example, if I say, I give you the example here. The two sisters love each other deeply, right? So I have used each other. Okay. If I say the classmates congratulated one another, okay, we have used classmates. Classmates are a lot in number. Okay. Classmates congratulated one another after the result. Okay. I hope this is clear. So this was all about our indefinite pronoun. Let's see the next part of the pronoun that I said we'll see in the next slide is relative pronoun. So a relative pronoun refers to a noun that comes before it, okay, called the antecedent. It also acts as a conjunction by connecting two sentences, okay, connecting two sentences. Let us see how. So this is the definition. The pronoun refers or relates to some noun which comes after this pronoun. Besides it acts as a conjunction also because it connects two sentences. So relative pronoun can be like who, whom, okay? Or I can say whose, which, that, or what. Okay, so let us see how they are used in a sentence and what are the rules that we have to remember while using them. The next is who is used for subject, whom for object. How? The teacher, I'll give you an example. The teacher who, right? Who helped me. Now, who is the subject here? Okay, was kind. You can complete the sentence. Okay, if I say the girl whom I met is my cousin. Okay, so whom is the object here. Okay, so wherever we are using who or whom, we have to remember that who is used for the subject and whom is used for the object. I can also say, for example, you can see here, he is the one who called you, right? He is the one who called you. Let us see the next rule here. You, okay, relative pronoun that is referred to as who or which in the following cases. For example, after adjective in a superlative degree, right? After adjective in a superlative degree. So we can use that in place of who or which when we are using after adjective in a superlative degree. For example, this is the best movie that that I have ever seen. Have ever seen. Can you see that I have used in place of who or which? I can also say he's the smartest student that I know. Okay. Again, I have used that here. So let us see which other places we can use it. Next, after the following words, all, same, any, only, nothing, the only. Okay. For example, if I use any of the sentences words here in my sentence, he is the only one that. Okay, he's the only one that knows the truth. Okay, or I can say, let me use this. There's nothing that can stop us. Okay, so with these words, we can use that always. Keeping that in mind, if these questions, these kinds of things come and you're spotting the errors, you can spot them. Okay. Next is after the interrogative pronoun who and what. So after the interrogative pronoun who and what, we can use that. For example, who is the person that broke the window? Right? Who is the person that broke the window? Or I can say, what is it that you want to say? Okay. What is it that you want to say? Okay. With what also I can use that as a pronoun instead of using a relative pronoun. Okay. Let's see more examples here, more questions. After two antecedents, one denoting a person and the other denoting an animal or a thing. For example, she is the girl and the singer that impressed everyone. That, okay, that impressed everyone. Again, if I want to say, he is the man and the poet. He is the man and the poet that we talked about. Okay, he is the man and the poet that we talked about. So I have used that in place of a relative pronoun. Let's see the next one. The relative pronoun should be placed as near as possible to its antecedent. So place the relative pronoun close to the noun. A common mistake is placing the relative clause far from the noun it refers to, which gives an error. If I say, I'll give you two examples, one the correct one the wrong one. The books are on the table. The books are on the table, which I borrowed. Okay. Instead of writing which so far away from the noun, I could have said the books which are on the table. Okay, the books which are on the table. Yeah, the books which I borrowed are on the table. Okay, change this and keep this near the noun. Okay, another example we can see here, say here is, I have a friend. Okay, let me write it here. I have a friend in Delhi. I have a friend in Delhi who owns a shop in Mumbai. Okay, who? A friend and who. So how can I change this? Keeping this near the noun, I can write, I have a friend who owns a shop in Mumbai, a shop in Mumbai, lives in Delhi, and he lives in Delhi. Sorry, the writing here has become quite bad. So, okay, the sentence. I hope you understood the sentence, how we have to write. Okay, a friend, keeping the pronoun near the noun. I have a friend Who owns a shop? Who owns a shop in Mumbai, comma, and he lives in Delhi. Okay, and he lives in Delhi. This is how we try keeping the relative pronoun near the noun it refers to. It makes it easier. Also, this is the correct way of using it. Next is the relative pronoun. What is used without any antecedent. What includes both the noun and the relative pronoun, right? So it does not refer back to any noun. For example, if I want to say a sentence here as I'll give, okay, I'll give you what you need. What you need. So what refers to which only? Okay, that which. Next sentence I can, or next example I can give you is she lost what I gave her. What I gave her. So here can you see the usage, what is used as a relative pronoun also and as a noun also. Okay. So another example, take what you want. Here are some easy words. Take what you want. I have used what here. Okay. Next, let us see the next one now. Whose of whose is used to refer to persons only, of which is used while referring to lifeless objects. So whose is basically for people. Okay, remember it like this. Whose is for people and which is for lifeless object. Okay, for lifeless object. For example, the boy whose phone was stolen. Okay, so boy के साथ मैंने whose use किया है. The boy whose phone is stolen या फिर which I can say the car, the door of which was damaged. Okay, so with a non-living thing, a lifeless object, use which as a relative. So these were some of the examples and rules that you have to follow while you are doing relative noun. Okay, which is quite easy, I understand totally. The next part and the last part of our pronoun series is interrogative pronoun. Interrogative pronoun, as the word says, interrogative, the word which asks questions. Okay, so interrogative pronouns are basically used to ask questions. They help us gather information by pointing to the people, by pointing to the things, or I can also say ideas. Okay, so the common word that we use as interrogative pronoun is who, whom, whose. Okay, what, or which. Okay, let us see the next rule. The definition is here first, the pronoun. Ignore the spelling, please. Okay. Are used for making queries or asking questions. What is used in broad sense, while which is used in specific sense. So whenever we are using what, when the options are not clearly known. Okay. What is used when the options are not clearly known and the question is quite open-ended. Okay. Open-ended questions for like, what do you want to eat? Open-ended question, no specifics, right? No specific options. What is your dream, right? Broad category. Okay, broad category like what is your dream? Okay, if I say what do you do for living? For a living. Okay, so no specific set of options are here. Okay, and this is used in a very broad sense. So think of what as asking, tell me anything. Okay, when you say tell me anything, then you can use what as an interrogative pronoun. Yeah. So, rule which is used for specific cases. So, let us discuss which also. Which, when you are choosing from a known set, okay, known set of things, then you use which. Which color do you prefer? Red or blue? Okay, now I have only two options, specific choice. Which dress should I wear today? Known, right? Which dress, specific dress I'm asking for. If I say, which book Which book did you read yesterday? Okay. Did you read yesterday? So here, books are already known. I'm talking about something specific. Clear? I hope this is clear. Think of which as asking choose from these. When you have to say choose from these, there you can ask the question of which. Okay? So they have a very specific usage in an interrogative pronoun. So if I say which is used in place of who and what when we are referring to a choice between two or more than two things or person. So use which instead of who and what when selecting two or more people. Basic thing. Okay. Always use which in place of who or what when we have two or more people. For example, which of the boys won the race? So there are more boys, right? Okay. Which of the boys won the race? Here, so there are more than two boys. If I say which of these students answered correctly? Okay, which of these students answered correctly? So there are like multiple students out of which we have to choose one. Another, which of the two movies should we watch? Okay, so even though we are talking about people here, we use which because there is a clear set of options. Okay, again, do not confuse yourself. There is a clear set of options. There is a specific case. That is why we are using which. Okay, so I hope this was clear. Okay, so this was about our interrogative pronoun. These are the specific rules that we have to remember while we are doing interrogative pronoun. Very easy, very short and precise. So even though we have done all the rules, in the next video, I will make sure that we do some examples also. The way these questions can be asked in our exams. So this was the third part there where we explored about interrogative pronoun, we explored about relative pronoun, right? We explored about indefinite pronoun. So and this is how we have covered each and every part of pronoun. We also saw the key differences between which and what and how choosing the right one makes you grammatically correct. Now, when you're ready to use all of these pronouns confidently, start using them. So, with this, we wrap up with a complete pronoun series from personal pronoun to all the parts of pronoun, demonstrative, reflexive, relative, indefinite, and and now we are at the end of the pronoun part. We have covered everything you need to know for your competitive exams. You can also go back and rewatch any part if you need a revision. And don't forget to practice with examples. If this series helped you, don't forget to like, comment your doubt. Okay, just comment in this section. I'll see the doubts there and share it with your friends also. I'll see you in the next grammar topic video. Until then, keep learning and keep growing.